Jordan Peele is back in a whole new movie. It's similar to Get Out. It's like his Get Out movie. Still horror, still that genre, which, I don't know, I thought Get Out was more of a thriller than a horror movie.
Yeah.
But this one actually brought in the horror. And this movie that we're talking about is the movie Us. Is it good? Is it worth the hype? Well, we'll talk about it today on this episode of Movie Breakdowns. What's up, world? Welcome to another episode of Movie Breakdowns. I'm your host, Ali Zakka. What's up, world? Welcome to another episode of Movie Breakdowns. I'm your host, Ali Zakka, and what is Movie Breakdowns? Movie review series. We look at new and old movies, give them a grade A through F, plus and minuses do count. And if there's a movie you want us to review, please put it in the comment section below. We'll get to it as best we can. Also, have a Patreon. It's Patreon/Ali Zakka, and on this Patreon you get movie reviews before everybody else gets them. First come, first serve, because you're paying for it. You ask for a review, I go find it and do it for you, get it up as soon as possible. Also, I have trailer reactions, trailer reviews, and first thoughts on movies. And if you watch it on YouTube, please like, comment, and if there's a movie you want us to review, like I said before, put in the comment section below. Now I want to introduce another guest, another fan favorite who's been on here multiple times. The last time you saw her was on my John Wick 3 review. My mother, she is back for another episode here, another review, and she's tackling Us with us. And guess what? It's Halloween time. This movie's coming out right before Halloween on that Thursday. So this one is review coming out, well, not the movie, but the review's coming out on that day. So if for those of y'all watching on this Thursday, have a happy Halloween. Now, let's go and get into today's review of the movie 2019? 2019, Us. First thoughts. You want to go first, Eddie, or?
Yeah, I go first. First thoughts, well, I didn't have any expectations when I watched this movie, but I didn't really like it. and that surprised me because I like Get Out, but this movie right here, I know there was a lot of hidden messages in there, and so the first time I watched it, I had to watch it twice to sort of get some of the things I think I missed, but my first thought was, this is an interesting movie, but as far as it grabbing my attention, yes, it grabbed my attention, but as far as me saying that this is a great movie that I would watch over and over again, I don't think I will. So first thoughts, not so good about the movie.
Okay. My first thoughts, I really enjoyed this movie. I watched bunch of horror films this year, from Hereditary, we just got some review on that one. Midsummer, which just came out in September. I watched that movie, and those were like considered some of the best horror movies out there. I felt like Us actually topped those two movies in the horror genre. Like, it gave me everything I wanted to feel. I wanted to feel frightened. I wanted to feel scared. I had those moments. Like, okay, are they going to make it out alive? Because a lot of horror movies, when I watch them, it's always like some kind of like unworldly creature or somebody who's like a superhero kind of thing, but it's the villain side of it. Like, instead of a superhero movie, get the villain side that's attacking these people. And you're like, how are these normal people going to get out of this? And this movie didn't play the same horror tropes. Yes, they was there, but it wasn't like the random person walked out into the woods and then just get killed. Like, you have to begin the movie with the girl, and you're like, why is she walking away from her family? Oh, by the way, this is a spoiler review, guys. This movie came out last year. You haven't seen it yet. It's a whole year. Go watch this movie. So this is a spoiler review. But the girl at the beginning of the movie walks off from her family. You're like, why she's walking off? And that's the one thing I was like, okay, we're going to do this whole thing all over again. But then after the rest of the movie tropes are not there. They don't like follow like you normally do. Like, there's a scene in the movie where the family themselves even was like, we have this whole house, why don't we just sit here and chill? And the mom was like, no, we gotta get out. We don't need to be here because they can hunt us down here. Us sitting in this house is not gonna save us. Which a normal horror movie would be like, oh, we got the keys in the car, but we're gonna sit in this house because why not? Versus, let's get out, let's make the smart choice and leave. Like, I like the fact that Jordan Peele knows how to do horror, and he does like hint to those tropes and then avert your expectations, so you're not watching the same dumb, well, we've seen somebody getting killed off here, somebody getting killed off there, I think we'll stay another day. Like, What?
Well, there was some of those type of moments in the movie, like when the girl got hit by the car, and the mom gets out the car and go checks to make sure she's dead in the wood. Who does that?
Right.
I'm like, get your butt in the car, let's go.
Right.
But I guess the thought is we need to get rid of her so that they don't come back and find us. But I didn't find this like a horror movie. I found it like a suspenseful movie.
Really?
I didn't find it scary, which I don't like to do horror movies at all. I really don't. I don't really do horror movies. So I didn't find this movie scary at all. The only thing that was pretty much scary was that weird song with the children singing. Sounded like some weird music, like Latin or something. But for the most part, it had scary music, but the movie wasn't scary to me.
Really? Well, this is actually considered a horror movie. Like a horror movie is a movie that causes like disgust, drama, like intense feeling. Like that's what a horror movie is. Cause I thought the movie Midsummer.
It had drama.
Yep.
It had suspense.
Yep.
But it wasn't scary.
And I think it's also scary depending on what person too. But as far as like the basic general genre of horror, this movie fits into it. And the reason why I know this because I had to go look at the definition of Midsummer, because that movie says a horror drama movie. I was like, this is not a horror movie. I didn't feel like I was scared. I never felt the people in the movie were in danger. Like I never felt scared for them. Then I go look at the definition of horror and like, oh, it puts it in like disgust, drama, like disgust, feeling of like intense feeling.
Yeah,
it's
frightening.
Frightening,
it's frightening to you.
And,
so.
it's like intense images, like some kind of images.
Okay,
like
so
the
imaging. Some of the imaging was true to fact. I mean, the little mask wearing. Like I said, there was a lot of messages in here. It's like the part about this shadow, and these people were shadows of the characters. We got to talk about the characters.
Yeah, we'll get
they were shadows of the characters, and the mask that people wear, and it's like people in real life wear masks all the time. So I felt like the movie was talking about the mask people wear, the mask life that people live. I believe this is what this movie's talking about. So to me, it wasn't scary. Yeah, the little burnt face boy. Yeah, that was kind of like, oh my gosh, that looked scary. But really, it didn't. So I don't know. That was supposed to be shocking, but it wasn't.
And maybe because I related to the characters more, so I didn't know how they were gonna get out of the situation. So to me, when it came to like the horror was like, how are they gonna survive? Because like it wasn't like your normal horror movie. Like as you saw the movie progress out, like this is not like a normal horror movie.
Yeah.
So there probably gonna be some kind of twist or something like that.
Which was genius. I believe that was genius.
And Jordan Peele did a great job at setting up everything because it made you wonder like, are they gonna win at the end of the movie or are they gonna die at the end of the movie? He had no idea. He didn't play like a normal horror movie did to me in a sense.
But I knew there was a twist, and I knew that little girl.
I didn't even see it coming.
I knew that little girl was not the real person from the beginning, and I just kept thinking the whole time I'm watching this, I'm like, that little girl is not the one that they found in the funhouse. I just knew that.
I didn't see it coming. I didn't see that coming at all. I thought when I watched this movie the first time, I thought this movie was more of a movie about anxiety because of the fact that this girl went into. Let's kind of get into the story too.
Actually, talk about the characters first. And then, did you see that movie Midsummer? Have you seen that?
Yes, I reviewed it.
Okay,
it's up right now.
I need to watch it.
I own it actually.
I need to watch it.
Yeah, I reviewed it. It's up on YouTube and Facebook right now. You can watch it right now on this channel. Like I said, it came out September. And this is October reviewing this movie. But when I was watching this movie, and because I watched Ari Aster's Midsummer and Hereditary, where those movies all had some kind of thing with like dealing with some kind of internal trauma. Like each main person had some own thing dealing with themselves, inside themselves, on top of the life event going on. So I watched this one with Addie, the main character, Adelaide, who played by Lupita Nyong'o. Lupita Nyong'o. You still looking at me like, how you pronounce her name?
You're trying to make me mess up the name.
I always mess her name up. I've watched her in so many movies now.
I thought it was Nyong'o.
Nyong'o? Maybe Nyong'o.
Dang, you should have listened to it.
I mess her name up every review. I'm sorry. But Lupita, she does a great job. And actually, Jordan Peele, he told them when they're going to start this review, or start this movie filming, that they're going to be very tired because she had to do 2 roles this whole movie.
I think they all did because that's the crazy part, how the regular life people, the characters, and their alter ego or their doppelganger look so much like like, is this really them? You know, like when you at first glance, you're like, is that really them playing two parts, or is it another actor?
They just a lot of makeup on.
So it was good to see that.
More aesthetics.
So, yeah, so that was good. I like that.
Like
at first, I kept saying, well, dang, did they find a double? And like it was just really deal.
Winston Duke's character, like when his shadow doppelganger, his beard was much bigger than Winston Duke's real character was. But we're gonna get to the story with it because what I'm gonna lead into. I thought this movie was about a movie about anxiety because of the fact that Lupita's character, she as a young kid wandered off her parents, which is stupid, by the way. Her dad wasn't paying attention to her, and
it happens.
And she wandered off, but she's legit walked away and walked into this fun house and came across some crazy room mirrors, and then saw a shadow of herself, or she saw her mirror reflection. Turned out it wasn't, and the movie jumps like it cuts screen, like jump cuts another scene to the future, or not to the future, like to her at the therapy.
Being found and being in therapy because she wasn't talking.
So, and then at the beginning of the movie, Adeline, or Addie, I'm just calling her Addie, she didn't want to go back to the beach. She didn't want to go back to the place where the incident happened. So I thought it was playing on kids as like anxiety if something happened to a traumatic experience happened to a kid, and they're living with this their whole life, and for some reason she didn't tell her husband, or didn't wait till all the way to this point that,
or she didn't tell her husband.
Like they already have 2 kids and everything. You think like I'm sitting watching like as a relationship wise, like because Winston's character like he wanted to go have fun, a vacation, and she was kind of like ruined this.
But he was unaware that she had this traumatized experience at the beach, so
he had no idea.
And as a husband and wife, you would think that they would have discussed her reason why she didn't want to go to the beach
years before they got 2 kids. But they have 2 kids, so I'm like, okay, so this relationship's been together for a very long time, at least. What
we don't know.
Yeah, they're both are kids.
No, they got married a year after them kids was born. 3 years later, who knows?
But they, you know what I mean? Like they been together. They had an
established relationship.
Yeah, established.
But yet there was some lack of communication
about her anxiety. Apparently, she just bottled up her whole her main anxiety for her life was bottled up. Something in this movie about anxiety, and she's got to face her anxiety and come out and overcome this anxiety at the end of the movie. That's what I thought this movie was about. And then that twist at the end, I was like, oh, it wasn't about movie anxiety at all. It wasn't that like, okay, well. That's the message I got. It was
about mass. It was about people hiding behind themselves. But I didn't
get that.
That's what I got.
Also, what's with the holding hands thing? I didn't get that either.
Now this holding hand things was this Hands Across America thing, and it really was a thing that it was like Feed America something, and I don't remember a lot about it. I thought people back in the day did a thing like one day before all the social media stuff happened where they all held hands and they supposed to have this human chain across America. Now, I don't know if this movie was playing on that, saying that this is really the people that lived underground and all the tunnels, because at the beginning of the movie, there was a little statement about these underground tunnels and all these vacant things that people no longer utilize, or so we think, that there's just underground tunnels and underground buildings and things like that. So the movie started out with a little clip of that. And so Addie, when she went to the fun house or whatever, her doppelganger was actually living in these underground tunnels and stuff. As a matter of fact, everybody's doppelganger was living there. And that part right there was kind of weird to me, because I could feel like that scene where they were underground when she was walking with the parents, and just the whole quirkiness of seeing people normal like me and you, but somewhere else in an alternate universe, underground somewhere, there's 2 people sitting like me and you, but they're kind of weird, like, they're doing some quirky thing, or they're doing something
their movements
abnormal,
like off.
And they tried to insinuate like the government is making 2 of us.
They was
hey, they got my DNA. Who knows what they're doing with my DNA? They stole 4 placentas the hospitals have. So yeah, that's another story, but yeah, they got my DNA, and it's probably 2 of us floating around. There's another one of you. Who knows?
And the movie does state that like we was created to be like the workers for the normal people, something like that. And then something happened where they got put underground. Like maybe I got that wrong, but she said they got put underground and it was never come to light. And she's like, however, and this is Red, by the way. Red is explaining who's the doppelganger of Addie, explaining to Addie like how this existence became and how they was living underground and waiting for the moment to take revenge on the surface.
Now mind you, Red is actually Addie.
Yeah, because at the beginning of the movie, which that's a plot twist at the end of the movie there. So before we get to that, Winston Duke's character, which let me just pull his name up. Winston Duke's character, who is Gabe Wilson. He got his family going back to the mom of Addie's house for the summer, and they're living there. And Winston's excited, so it's a family vacation, probably just normal family vacation. Listen, I got 5 on it in the beginning of the movie, which you just like, okay, they just listen to the song. You don't think anything of it. You really don't. And that song, by the way, the music in this movie is great because they use I Got 5 on it and make it like a horror song at the end of the movie. Yeah. And like
I loved. That was one of the things I actually loved. The fact when she did the ballet and the fight scene with the music by the Loonies. By the way, if everybody knows I Got 5 on it, it's by the Loonies. And when they did that remix of that song at the end with the fight scene, oh my God, that was it right there for me. I liked that part about the movie, even though the movie was not what I was expecting it to be, because I had to think a lot, and sometimes I just like to watch a movie and get lost in it. But I had to think a lot with this movie, and I just didn't feel like it. So, but yeah, that part right there I did like.
Good point there. So yeah, it's family vacation, normal family, and you get this one guy who was in a flashback of Addie's life, was found dead, and it kind of like kicks off the events. This homeless dude found dead, but then he wakes up on the beach again. And Jason, who is Addie's son, she noticed this. Alright, not she, but he noticed this. The regular guy who was dead was now standing up like waiting for somebody to hold his hand, but blood's coming down. That kind of kicks off everything. Now Addie thinks something's wrong. Addie's like, hey man, we shouldn't be here. And then the 4 doppelgangers appear in the driveway. Who mentions it at first? Was it Jason or was it
I believe the kid,
Zora.
the little boy noticed them first.
So Jason,
there's a family in the driveway.
Yeah, there's a family in the driveway. And by the way, Gabe and Addie are having this conversation about Addie's trauma and what she's going through. And Jason's like, what? Not Jason, but Gabe's like, what? There's a family in the driveway. And Jason, I keep saying Jason. I can't call him Jason. I feel like he's a Jason. But Gabe, I love how Jordan Peele wrote Gabe, because Gabe is like this suburban dad who...
college graduate. You have a feeling he had this Howard sweatshirt on, so you had this feeling he was this college student and he's never had a brush with any type of...
danger. Just like, he was raised right. Pretty much that way. He was raised in a good environment where he didn't have to really face anything wrong. Nothing bad with that. Like, you don't have to be hard shell, but he wasn't like quick to be like, oh, I'm gonna bust these dudes up and attack first. Like, he was like, no, leave me and family alone. Get out of here. And
he didn't have any pent-up rage ready to release on somebody.
Yeah, just a regular dude. And I like the fact that, because you don't normally get to see, this is a black movie, guys, so you don't normally get to see a black character who's just a chill black dude. They're always gonna be like,
you watch no Denzel Washington? Oh, well, you know, Denzel does get kind of dramatic.
Yeah, like they're always
but he does have some movies where he's calm and quiet.
But you know, Denzel Washington,
Will
he's
Smith
not going.
In 7 Pounds, he was quiet.
But you know, they're not, because I guess the roles they play, you know, they're not gonna be like the one to be like, oh no, you good guys, just get up a line. Just leave. Let
me think. I have to go back and think about some movies. I'm pretty sure.
I've never seen a Will Smith movie or a Denzel movie where they've been like, get up a line, just leave.
Carlton.
Yeah, we gotta do that. That's not right. Carlton. Yeah, they have never played roles like that.
I'm gonna find a movie where there's one of our black
I think because Training Day, Denzel had to be on that level. Lawrence Fishburne, I can see him being that character.
Oh my gosh, no, but, he's crazy.
But Lawrence does me crazy roles where he can't pull off what Winston Dukes did.
I think Lawrence can. Larry Fishburne. Lawrence can pull that off because he's a good actor. He can pull that off.
But Winston did it so well though. He did the whole like, hey, just get my line, guys, or I'll tell you one more time, get off my line, and then goes back in the house, get in the house. But they eventually break in and they torture the family. Like, the doppelganger torture them. Red explains that we're here, we're tethered. Everything that you went through, Addie, I've went through, and you hurt my life, and we're getting revenge, pretty much.
And if gosh, what's his name? Gabe.
Gabe
was about to step. He would have just popped them all off. You know, they didn't get off his line like he said. He's like, hey, look, I'm telling y'all now to leave. They didn't leave. Pop, pop, pop. They would have been popped.
Yeah. See.
So he didn't do that. They didn't have no guns there.
What got me though was the time limit thing. There's a time limit place in this movie called when the doppelganger first show up. There's like call the police.
Yeah.
The police will be here in 15 minutes. I'm thinking this movie gonna be this movie is gonna be within 15 minutes. That's what I thought it was. How wrong I was, because
you thought the police was coming to save them.
Because I was like, man, a minute's a long time. They're gonna break in the house and get them 15 minutes. Like, all right, we got 5 minutes. I guess you got to stall out, right? It's a time limit movie. No, police didn't come at all. And there's a part where like call the police, and everybody's like, it's still taking 15 minutes for the police to show up. Police got taken out. So apparently the doppelgangers all came up. It wasn't just Red and her family. It was everybody.
Yeah.
And they took out the whole city of, is it Santa Ana?
Santa Cruz, I believe.
Pretty much that whole area of California, took them all out. And only people who were surviving was Gabe, Addie, Jason, and Zora. And throughout this movie, they managed to take out Zora's character, Gabe's character. Jason's the last one to get taken out before the big climactic finish here, who was trying to pretty much blow them up in the car. And Jason was like, he just saw a doppelganger. He's a shadow. So if I do the same thing he does, he's going to copy me. And he's going to kill himself. So Jason literally leads his shadow into a fire and blows himself up. While this is happening, Red takes Jason and takes him downstairs into like the underground tunnels. I know I skipped the part here because there's a part where a lot of people talks about is the F the police scene, where this is when you find out there's more doppelgangers, because the friends of Gabe and Addie gets killed by their doppelgangers, and the family has to fight off their doppelganger. Yeah, Elizabeth Moss's doppelganger.
And I will say that you haven't ever talked about the characters, but I will say this.
We're talking about them after the story.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. That scene there in the movie that part right there kind of reminded me of a real horror story there, because that scene where she's trying to crawl and she's trying to, you think that maybe she'll somehow escape or get to safety or whatever, and she tells, they're, instead of Alexa or Siri or whatever, her thing was Ophelia. What do you call the thing? What do you call it? I don't have one, so I don't know. Anyway, she says Ophelia called the police, and so Ophelia thinks she says F the police because she was mistakenly heard, which those things do, mistakenly hear what you want them to do. And so they start playing F the police, and it was the whole MC Ren verse, the whole verse. Mm-hmm. So you get to hear all that. And so in that scene there, it was like you almost had this doom feeling that and it felt like a horror movie in that sense, because it was like, oh, there's no hope. These people came in, they killed them, and the doppelgangers, they was the ones that survived. They seemed like they was really crazy. But that's the whole thing. I don't know if the doppelgangers were alter egos of the people they killed, or if they were like a version of them that they suppressed.
There's a version of them. There wasn't alter egos because, like, for example, Elizabeth Moss at the beginning of the movie, her character talked about how she did something to her face. I'm not sure what she did.
Yeah, she was vain. Yeah, and that doppelganger was almost the same way.
Yeah, so she was with makeup, and then she looked at Lupita's face, and she kind of she wanted to cut her face off because she wanted the color of her skin. Because she talked about how Lupita didn't have to worry about what she had to do because her skin's already beautiful. Remember she said at the beginning of the movie?
Damn, I missed that
she
part.
said at the beach, like, your skin's always good looking. Like, you don't have to worry about this. You don't have to do what I gotta do. And then, like, there's a part where...
Oh, yeah, because she did say, and Lupita's, Addie character says, I drink lots of water. It's just it's something about just water, or something about drinking water or something. Yeah. Where she maintained her skin.
And,
I can pay attention.
So, she, as Elizabeth Moss' character, who is Kitty, while her alter ego sitting in the shadow, sitting in the mirror, like messing with her face and trying to do makeup, she kind of like had I thought for a moment she was gonna cut her face off and try to take Addie's skin and put it on her face. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Jordan Peele would do something crazy, something like that, because she was cutting her face up like this. I was like, oh my gosh, she's gonna take her mask off. Cause why she has what's her name alive? Why is Addie sitting there alive still while everybody else been killed? It makes sense to me.
Yeah. I wondered that too.
But that was just something that I noticed, and I'll kids anybody else notice when I watch other reviews and see what everybody else noticed on this too. But that's something I noticed there. I was like, that's a neat little twist. But yeah, the Addie and her family pretty much beat Kitty and doppelgangers and kill them all off, and they try and get out of Santa Cruz. Can't get out because Jason's doppelganger, who is Pluto and Red, stopped their tracks. Red kidnapped Jason so Addie would go down and follow her down into the mirror house underneath the tunnels, and then that's where Red explains everything to Addie and explains that actually we're the only two who are different because we had a connection with each other. And you're like, okay, so maybe this is just like Red realizes people on top, and she's tired of being trapped in, tired of being suffocated and held down, and she wants to come up and rise and hurt.
No, she just wanted her life back.
We didn't know that yet.
When she was going through that, and when she was like, I'm here for you. I didn't know the reason why she was talking crazy though. The reason why she couldn't really talk, her voice was hoarse. But I knew, like I said, I had a feeling in the back of my head that little girl was switched.
Yeah, well, that wasn't explained yet in the movie.
I know, but I had a feeling that little girl wasn't herself. I knew that. And the lady was like, I just want my daughter back. Well, because it wasn't her daughter.
Her son.
Well, no, in the beginning, the mother was told us some sense. So Red and Addie.
Well, I haven't even got to that part yet. I haven't got to the part where the plot twist happens.
Mm-hmm.
She figured it out. I didn't figure it out in the beginning of the movie.
It's not that I figured it out. It's just that I had that. I kept that in mind when I was watching the movie. When I was watching the movie, I kept it in mind. Was like, what if she really isn't the person who she says she is? And I was like, and that's kind of made me sad too when she killed her. And I was like, wow. I was like, Red, which is the real Addie, never would get her life back because she just wanted to have her life back that this soulless doppelganger stole and mimicked to have a real family. And that's what she was so afraid of being caught and losing her family because she stole Red's real life.
And that's the twist. After Red and Addie fight each other, Addie kills, or we think it's Addie, kills Red. And Jason hears everything that goes down, and he looks at his mom in a weird way at the end of the movie. They're driving away. He looks at her in a weird way, and then she looks at him, and then kind of looks back, and the camera takes us back to the flashback where Mom just said where Addie gets kidnapped by Red. Red chokes her out, so Addie's voice is hoarse because her vocal cord's been destroyed or damaged, so she can't really speak normal, but she has the chance to rile up all the other tethered souls to become a rebellion and rise up. So Red wants her life back. The real Addie wants her life back, while Red, who's actually the villain of the movie, and she's the one who's like, I won at the end of it. She's like, I get to keep your life and kill you. Which is messed up at the end. Like the villain, the movie you thought you watched, the good guy.
Really won, and I was a little upset about that. I was like, that's the part that I was kind of like, man, I don't even like this movie.
I actually enjoyed that. I saw that. I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't see this.
I was like, the villain won.
Yeah, the villain won. The villain came out on top at the end, which you don't see that. That's
and I don't know how her soulless ass was able to have children and all that.
I guess everything else is still the same, so she could have children. And she learned how to speak like a normal human because she listened to her parents.
But when Red was having the kids, she was saying, when you had your kids, I had mine, and mine was born like this, and I just couldn't understand, like, why, like, how she say her son was born into fire. So there was just questions after questions, and like, you know, then she called her daughter this evil. What she called her?
She said she was horrible, like she was something.
Oh my goodness, said she had a monster or something, and I was like, oh wow. So, but like I said, the doppelgangers were a part of them because at the same time, I don't even want to call them doppelgangers, but like Zora, for instance, she ran track, but I guess she gave it up, and then her tethered person could outrun her, could run so fast. And there were some funny parts in the movie, like the time Zora's tethered person jumped on that man's car, and I could see myself coming out the house like, what the hell are you doing on my car? That was just so funny to me. He was like, get off my car. And so she ended up killing the guy. They was like, oh, they just out here just killing people. So that part about everybody having these tethered people, and then everybody coming up dying because the tethered people are coming out killing everybody. I'm just like, so what's really going on? I mean, everybody had had a doppelganger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And what was these doppelgangers going to do once they took over everybody's life? What was they going to do? Because these people seemed like they wasn't normal.
Just hold hands in a giant chain.
I got so many questions. And then there was just all these numbers, symbolism throughout the movie. The 11, the 11s, the 11s, the 7s. There was 7s being thrown out there. There was 11s being thrown out there.
The 11s, that was a Bible verse. I actually looked it up and I don't remember what it is.
But the 7s was thrown out there.
Yeah. But yeah, so she pretty much like wrapped up everything there. Cause that was the ending of the movie where, yeah, that's the twist where you look at it and like, oh, Red is actually Addie. And the main person you've been rooting for this whole time, thinking that like they're gonna escape, is actually the villain. So you're rooting for the villain in the movie. So now you got to question yourself because you're like, wait a minute, am I believing what's right or I believe what's wrong? I root for the wrong person. And then you start thinking about it and you're like, this movie is messed up when you get down to it because like, oh, I thought Addie was a good person the whole time and she actually was the bad person. Like, right, Amber? Like, we thought it was the case and it wasn't the case. I applaud Jordan Peele for that twist because the movie, you guys see my review of Dead Man's Shoes. You know how I feel about that movie. I like everything in that movie, but the story was the one thing that like, seemed off. And I felt like this movie here, Us, was the way Dead Man's Shoes should have been. It should have been from the viewpoints of the villains at the beginning of the movie, and then the end, the good guy who you thought the villain is a good guy, and that in that case, in Dead Man's Shoes, I think the good guy, the villain who was the good guy at the end of the movie should have won. In this movie, it was the opposite. Like, it was the villain who he thought was the good guy ended up winning. So it's like the villain won the whole time. Like, you was like, what in the world?
That was a disappointment for me. I was just like, dang. I was kind of rooting. Because I kind of, like I said, I had that feeling. So I was really rooting for Red to come out on top and get her family back.
And for a moment, I thought that fight scene, it wasn't like a jog out like Avengers, Marvel, superhero fight scene. It was like Red was just dodging all the attacks from Addie.
Yeah, because she learned how to dance real good, and that's really how her doppelganger learned how to dance, because she learned how to dance, and that's what she put all her energy into the ballet, and so Addie became good at dancing. So she just pretty much was like, she kind of knew her moves before she was about to do it or something.
Yeah. So could they show the dancing scene how Red, who was actually Addie, was in the underground, started, like, did she start dancing because of the fear and terror, and that's her way for escaping?
Yeah.
And because she started dancing down, like, underneath the tunnel, it actually reversed to the top, and then Addie, who was Red started dancing in the normal world when Addie was dancing underneath. That's what it was?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so I thought because whatever Addie was doing, or I guess Red was doing on the surface, Addie started doing it underneath the basement, but it actually was opposite. Where Addie was doing,
whatever Addie was doing is because Red was doing it underneath.
Okay.
That's why she was doing. That's why she became good dancer, and she stopped dancing. And I don't know if she stopped dancing because she figured it out, or whatever the case is, but she had stopped dancing.
So,
remember when
so wait,
her friend asked her why she stopped dancing?
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah.
By the way, Elizabeth Moss, she's such a good actress. I really like her.
Yeah, she really is.
I like how she plays the quirky and the crazy. She's really good at that. So I don't know where she came from, but if you watch her in anything, The Handmaid's Tale, Top of the Lake on Hulu, The Invisible Man.
Yeah, 2020, which that review.
And she's played in some other things too. I just can't think about it off the top of my head. But yeah, she's a very versatile actress. But
Invisible Man, by the way, comes out. If you're even not seen the review, it came out this Monday. Plug that in there. But question then, so if Red was doing all, I guess Addie underneath the ground was doing all the things, that means she met the doppelganger of Duke first.
They met him first, yeah.
Or Duke? Wow.
Because she's saying it, I met my husband or whatever. That's how she was talking. And so she had these kids, and she had the kids. So I'm thinking she met the dude underground, and she had the kids, underground by the tethered person to Gabe, and then that's how Addie on top, which was really the real Red, met her husband. and had her kids and stuff. So I'm thinking it's like a parallel universe. It's like a parallel universe. And then, you know what? That would be really weird if that's actually what's, like I was saying, it was what's going on right now. Me and him sitting here, somebody else sitting somewhere in some dungeon doing quirky.
All right, let's kind of get into the characters. That'll be a whole other universe open up. All right, so one, gotta get a shout out to Jordan Peele. He not only did he direct this movie, he also written this movie. And then, okay, Lupita Nyong'o. I was in Nyong'o.
That's what I want to say, but I haven't really heard her name.
I heard her say her name like a few times, especially when I did the review for the movie 12 Years a Slave. She is a phenomenal actress. Like, she is, give her Oscars everything I watched her in. Black Panther, 12 Years a Slave. I can't think of any other movies I've seen, but I've seen this one right here. She is phenomenal. Great. Just great. When she did the review, or she did the filming, she said she wanted to film the aggressor side first because it gave her it told her how to react to her character. So she did the aggressive person first. Wherever scene that's most aggressive, she did that scene first, and then she went back and reacted not the passive aggressive, not passive. What's the person? The aggressor, and then it's the
passive person.
Not passive. It was the aggressive, and it's the. So who calls someone who's not the aggressor? Not defense, not passive. I can't think of that. Submissive?
I guess.
I can't think of that.
Submissive, I guess.
The person who was getting attacked, she did that scene second, so it showed her how great of an actress she is. She also did the full mentality split. Person did it really well. Like, you knew you didn't ever switch the two. Like, never once. Like, unless you knew the end of the movie, you figured it out before the movie. But you never thought like, oh, these are the same people. Like, you
actually thought they was two separate people.
Mm-hmm. Winston Duke, I already talked about him being as Gabe Wilson as his the suburban dad who didn't struggle in life. Well, no, he probably did struggle, but like, he didn't experience any trauma, I should say, or any like bad trauma in life. He did a great job. Winston Duke, who's also in Black Panther, by the way, like, shout out to him. And then Abraham, who was
he also played in a Netflix movie too with Mark Wahlberg. And you need to watch that. It's pretty good. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't.
Okay, I gotta remember the name of it, but he played in that movie too.
But when he played Abraham, I guess Abraham, because they couldn't speak because he wasn't the like, Red was a real person. The other everybody else was shadow.
That's why.
So that's why he was like making those noises and didn't really say anything.
Okay. All right, that makes sense.
But his aggressive person was great. Elizabeth Moss, who played Kitty Tyler, and Dahlia.
That's a flower.
She did great. Tom Heidecker, who played Josh Tyler, it was okay. He didn't really have much of a movie, but
their tether people were actually acting like, a version of them, which was even more, I guess, more 100% worse than what they could have been as in their real life. Is how their tether people act.
Zora Wilson, who played by
Shahadi
Wright Joseph. Great. I thought she did a good job. That
was her name, Shahadi.
And then Evan Alex, for some reason, who played Jason Wilson in Pluto.
Pluto, his tethered soulless person.
Where is it? I think I made a note about him in my notes here.
And he looks like a young Fabulous. He does. He looks like the rapper Fabulous.
He kept, every time they showed him, he always like he was off scene, something like that. Like, he probably because he was told to act like you kind of not really there, or that you know something's up half the time. Because like throughout the movie,
he pretty much looked like he wasn't acting.
That's probably what it was. Because he just sat there most of the scenes, and then the scene where he just stand, like, if you watch, what scene? Not the beach scene where he first shows up. Oh, the scene where he tricks himself to go. He tricks his doppelganger to go into the fire. He kind of stands out and kind of just looks like he's just like there. He never seemed like he was like, I guess acting was probably what it was.
Pretty good actor.
He just seemed like
for a kid. He's a pretty good actor.
And maybe because he did a good job at that fact. Like, all right, this is your role. You just be there, kind of. But he's like watching everything. Don't really make any sudden things. Look like you're always aware of something going on. Like, and maybe because that was his goal and what he did. Because to me, I watched, like, he just seemed like everybody else was kind of like panicking. He just seemed more calm and just like.
Yeah.
No, this is a shadow. He's just like
they're
us.
They're us. He knew they was us. He knew that was them.
So I think he was in on the switch, because at the end of the movie he looks at his mom, which is actually his actual mom, but he looked at her like, you're not right either. And he looks at her at the end of the movie and he put his mask on, but he looks at her like he knows that something's up here.
So when he was in that locker, he heard everything they were talking about?
I don't think he could hear everything because it was down the hall.
Okay.
But the fact that he realized, he's like, he made that thing, and it's where I think hits it, where he's like, they're like us. They're a shadow.
Mm-hmm.
But Lupita's character, Red, didn't act like the other one. She didn't do the things the other shadows did.
Yeah, she didn't.
And that's why I think it clicked in his mind that, like,
that she
is a real human, and what's his name is a doppelganger, because his mom's a doppelganger while the other one's a real person. Because how come when Lupita did things, or I guess Addie did things, Red didn't copy Addie?
Exactly.
But when Zora was running, Ombre ran.
Yep.
When Gabe was trying to be aggressive, his character Abraham was aggressive.
Yeah.
When Jason, I think the scene that hits it, when Jason was like, "Oh, there are shadows," and he starts walking back.
Yeah.
Pluto walked back.
Yeah.
But Red kidnapped Jason without Lupita kidnapping Jason.
Yeah.
And that right there, I think he realized, you're human.
You're not her shadow.
Yeah. So he seemed aware, and I think because he was so good at it, he seemed kind of off to me in the movie, but it's probably a good job on him. And then you have Yahya Abdul Martin Martin, who played Russell Thomas. I just gotta give a shout out to him because he was in The Greatest Showman. He was in Aquaman. The dude was always good in everything he did. You know, he had a little bit of a bit in this movie. I thought he did a great job. Anything else? Anybody else on here? The twins, Becca Tyler and Lindsay Tyler, who played by Callie Sheldon and Noelle Sheldon. That was okay.
What's that right there?
Who?
Anna.
That's the mom.
Oh.
Anna.
Okay, that's her mother.
Rain Thomas. That's the mom. It was okay. The acting in this movie is great. I don't have a problem with this acting.
Anna. Okay. Eartha was her. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's because I was like, when they was underground, I was like, why are they? I was like, wow. Okay.
I don't have any problem with the acting. The acting was great. Do you have any problem with the acting?
No, I think the actors, they were great.
And it was cast well too, and directed well.
Pretty good acting in this movie. I would not say that these people were, as in some movies where people are, you can't get into the characters because they're not believable. But even though this was a movie, a horror movie that he said it is, I didn't get horror. I got suspense and drama. But yeah, they were good actors.
Any final thoughts?
Actresses.
Before we do the final grade?
I mean, I guess because I didn't like the ending, the way it ended for me, that made me not like the movie. But I mean, I can't knock the movie. It was a good, thought out movie. But I had to watch it and try to figure out what was going on, and literally had to watch it again. And it's like, okay, what did I miss here? Let me see if I can figure it out. And then I had a problem listening to Red because I know her vocal cords was messed up. But at the same time, I had to listen. I really had to strain. I was like, okay, Jordan, I don't know if you're trying to be funny right here or not, but some people might have hearing aids. Maybe I got a hearing problem, but I couldn't hear. But yeah, I mean, I don't hate the movie. I just thought it could be, I'm just, I guess I'm upset the fact that I'm mad because I'm actually mad because Red got away with it. She got away with it. And that's probably why I'm just like, ugh. But anyway, yeah. No final thoughts. That was it.
My final thoughts on it. The music I loved. I love the music of the whole movie. The opera, orchestra music. I love that. The symbolism with the rabbits. I love that.
What was the symbolism with the rabbit?
Well, it's the fact that I think they was using rabbits to either make the clones, or the rabbits represented how they just kept populating. How the clones, the shadows underneath the ground kept populating. The rabbits, there's a whole cage of rabbits.
I thought they were eating the rabbits.
Oh, that's what it's doing? It's using
I literally thought they were eating the rabbits.
I thought it was maybe, because she did mention she ate rabbits, maybe it was eating them. I thought there was a symbolism with it.
There was a scene in the classroom when Lupita was, Addie was writing on the, not Addie, but Red was writing on the chalkboard in the classroom, and there was all these handprints like all across the walls, and they were all in blood. And that's I was like, okay, this is a Hands Across America thing because it was a whole bunch of handprints all over the walls, and they were all in blood. I said, so what these people? I mean, like they're probably. I guess those were the monsters. But anyway, I thought they were eating the rabbits.
Maybe they was eating the rabbits. Maybe that's literally for just a few food for the people underneath. Like, might ask how they was eating. But like, I don't know. To me, I thought there was a symbolism with that. Cause they opened up the movie with that scene with the rabbits in the cage, and then the rabbits kept hopping around.
Kept a rabbit with him.
He did keep a rabbit.
What does this rabbit mean?
Jordan,
you got some.
I think the rabbits represented the untethered people because he kept the rabbit with him. Who was right there with him in the car? Red, who is a untethered or who's a tethered person, who is a soul from underground.
But she killed her tethered person. So
she killed the real human.
I know.
But she is the rabbit that represents that Jason's holding. That's the rabbit. She was. I don't know. That's what I thought. And I could be wrong about that. I need to do a little more symbolism research on this movie.
A lot of symbolism in it. I mean, I could go on and on about symbolism.
The music was great. The one thing, this is me nitpicking, and the movie, by the way, made. Where's the box office at? Because it actually made a lot more money than it had. So it made gross worldwide $255 million. Budget was estimated to be $20 million. And maybe because the scene where like Lupita is in the same scene together, and you watch the scene back, you would notice it. I noticed it right off the bat. And it kept bothering me because I watched so many CGI movies, so I know what CGI looks like, a good CGI versus mediocre to bad CGI. That's how I felt about the movie Invisible Man, but that movie had like $7 million budget. That's what that movie had.
I missed the CGI thing.
But it was like Red was writing on the chalkboard, and in the background, which I like the idea of what they went for here, the background was Lupita's character, Addie, was like creeping up on Red, and as she's slowly moving up on Red is talking, and it kept showing her talk, but like the way the CGI was framed, it looked out of place. Like Red's face was out of place, was out of focus with the rest of the movie. And maybe they did that because you need to look at Lupita in the background, Addie in the background moving forward, so she had to be a little bit blurred. But you can see the CGI of it in that scene, and it stands out. Every time I think of that scene, it just like didn't look right.
And while he noticed CGI, all I noticed was bloody hands on the wall.
But other than that, yeah, that's just me nitpicking. Alright, it is a Friday night movie. Like, watch with friends and family. What do you think?
I don't know if I would watch it with friends and family. I don't know if it's a Friday night movie for me. No, it's not a family-oriented movie. I mean, yeah, for
friends, movie nights with friends.
Yeah, movie night with friends, yes. I would say so. I would say so. But not a family night movie, but definitely a get-together movie for discussion. Friday night movie, I guess. I guess you could say that.
I would say yes, this movie is a Friday night movie. In grading time, you want to go first or I'll go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
I give the movie a B+.
B+?
Yeah.
You want to explain why, or?
I mean, I already explained why. I mean, but yeah, it's a B+. It's a well-made movie, just not to my liking. So yeah, B+. And that's a good score because I literally could have gave him a C because I didn't like the fact the way the movie ended. That's mainly the reason why I didn't like the way it ended.
It's your opinion.
I didn't like the way it ended because, like I said, the freaking villain got away, and sometimes I like to see the good guy win all the time. So.
I can't tell you how many movies I watched where I felt like I call it the Wonder Woman syndrome or the Wonder Woman effect, where the first and second half of the movies were just super great, and then the ending just
kind of let you down.
Yeah, like what's happening here? What the ball dropped? Where we going with here?
But the movie wasn't a letdown. Actually, the tempo was fine. It's just that the tempo was fine. The movie wasn't a letdown at the end like some movies do. It actually flowed and it kept up the pace, and it just wasn't the ending I wanted.
Okay.
So it gets a B+. All because the other things are great, but it gets a B+ because it's not the ending that I wanted.
I give this movie an A. And the reason I give the A because, like, one, the pacing in the movie is great. The pacing I thought was good. I thought it paced out thoroughly out the movie. It wasn't like super high and then get super slow and then get super fast. It like was a really mellow pace. Like after the family shows up in the movie, the doppelganger family shows up with like what 20-30 minutes because the movie is only
about 20 minutes into the movie.
Yeah,
20, 25 minutes to the movie.
I like it. I was like, that picked up quick. I literally wrote it here in my thing. I was like, the movie's only an hour and 56 minutes. I said it picks up quick. The story, she reveals her story. Bam! No way. Like in most horror movies, like, well, this happened to me as a kid, and this right here, and then you waiting like, all right, so you know the villain's coming somewhere, but now I gotta wait another 30 minutes, an hour to finally see the actual villain. Versus Addie told Gabe, like, this happened to me as a kid. I saw my other person. Dad, there's people in the driveway. What? Boom. And there you go. It just went up from there. The music is great. The acting is great. The directing is great. The shadowing of the movie, like the lighting of the movie, where it's supposed to be dark, it should have been dark. Where it should have been light, it should have been light so you can see certain things. Yeah. That was great. The anticipation of them trying to like, get the escape and trying to figure out a way to get out. And even the little jokes were like, they reference Home Alone because like Gabe was like, oh yeah, we're sitting in this nice rich house. Why do we need this nice rich beach house? Why do we need to leave? We have everything we have. Generator, water, food, all this stuff. And she's like, you know they can kill us, right? They're hunting us down. Us sitting in one spot is not going to save us. And that right there makes sense because most horror movies really do that whole...
Sit and wait.
Yeah, sit and wait and see what happens. We'll wait out the night here. What?
In the woods.
In the woods. The car and keys. You have keys. The car's over there with full tank of gas. Why are you sitting here? Yeah, I do like that. I do like that. And the music I feel like it was appropriate for the movie. Like the F the Police scene by NWA just popped out of nowhere. That came out of nowhere, but then you listen to the lyrics. You listen to the lyrics with the way the movie was acting, like, okay, you got 5 on it, you're thinking like, okay, this is a throwaway song to listen to. Reality comes back in the end of it with the horror beat of the movie. I thought it was I don't know, like, besides that one CGI moment, I can't think of anything else to really nitpick. Like, I can't think of anything else that was like, no, that was bad, that was really bad. Like, I can nitpick Evan, I think it's Evan or Alex, about how he felt odd to me in the movie, because he just seemed like, there's certain things you watch, if you look at him in the movie, there's certain scenes where he just seemed like he was like, maybe because he was always watching and just waiting for the moment versus like being proactive, because everybody else was kind of more proactive. He was always kind of a laid back character soaking everything in.
I didn't see nothing wrong with the little boy.
I don't think anything was wrong with it. I just think that was me nitpicking the fact that he just didn't act like I wanted to act. But
I mean, like the I mean, I don't know if they're trying to allude to the fact that he could be a little autistic or something like that. I don't know, because the twins Elizabeth Moss's character, Kitty. Is it Kitty or Kitty?
Kitty.
Kitty. She had twin girls, and they was like, your brother's weird and this and that. And so I don't know what they were trying to allude to, the fact that maybe he was a little, autistic maybe or something. But I don't think he was.
Yeah, I don't think he was autistic.
Think he was, but
I think he was just a young kid who just liked doing random stuff.
It just seemed like he did have some quirkiness to him, because he liked to play with the lighter and he liked to go in there and hide in the closet and stuff like that. So it might have been something going on there, but
I thought maybe he had a different sense. Like, yeah, those other things, like just a kid who playing around who wasn't stuck to a video game, or because this movie's a present day movie, by the way, but he wasn't stuck.
More aware.
Yeah,
he was more aware of what was going on.
And I think he was like most, some kids who see stuff happen, they sit back and watch. They're not proactive. Like everybody else around us moving, they're just kind of like, I'm gonna sit here and chill. And that's what he did a lot of this movie. And I think that's probably Jordan Peele, maybe I could be wrong here, did it on purpose to make you realize he's not moving like, because, for example, here's a good example. Zora, when the mom got kidnapped, she got the golf club and started swinging. Like, she did, was it a golf club?
It was a golf club.
Yeah, and she started swinging. She hit on everybody.
It was either a golf club or...
It was a golf club, because on the back.
On the fireplace poker.
Oh, yeah, that's what it... No,
fireplace poker?
That was done by Addie. She did it to get herself out.
Oh, okay.
So she hit the golf club, yeah.
The golf club.
So she, like, the first person she started swinging on.
Yeah.
Versus Jason, Jason, who's kind of more like, he was more reserved.
He did grab something, but he grabbed something
like,
just in case he needed it. But she handled it, and I was kind of like, yes, some little kids ain't scared to take care of business.
And there's a scene where like Zora is like attacking one of the twins, and Jason looks at her like, are you okay? And so maybe that was his thing. He was more aware. I like that.
He didn't know she had it in him. He knew he had it in him.
Yeah.
He didn't know she had it in him.
But yeah, that's our review of the movie Us. I gave it an A. She gave it a B+. IMDb gives it a 6.9 out of 10.
Which is what, like a C?
A D plus C minus. Let me see here.
They gave it a D, really?
That was my Jordan Peele.
Like a C. They gave him like a C.
Out of the 200,000 people that reviewed this movie, it was a 6.9 out of 10. Which, I guess out of a 10 scale,
like
some people say 7 is like average. So yeah, like
C. They gave it a C.
2019.
Well, apparently some people didn't like a lot of stuff about the movie then. Yeah.
There's some hit and miss on the reviews. Let me see what Rotten Tomatoes gives it a 93%. So and Metacritic gives it an 81%. So like there's some mixed reviews on this movie. Like there's people I've seen reviews who love this movie, and the people who I've seen the reviews they're not finding this movie at all. But I personally watch all the horror movies I watched this year. I think this is probably one of the best ones I watched this year. And I thought the movie Midsummer was really good. The problem was the pacing seemed off in the movie, and some of the things that was going on, like you saw it coming. Yeah. This one, I did not see it coming. I did not see that end coming. It was like, what? And the villain wins? What is going on here? But yeah, that's it. Any other thing?
No. I mean, you should actually check it out. I mean, and form your own opinions about it. I mean, it's a well-made movie.
It is. I'm excited to see what else Jordan Peele does. Well, thank you guys for watching this episode movie breakdown. Thank you, Mom, for coming on. You gonna leave? Okay.
I'm gonna shake your hand.
I just got that's my hand.
Shake your hand. We ain't this ain't no business meeting.
I just said
ain't no business meeting or something. I mean, dang. I'm looking at the camera.
Thank you guys for watching this episode. See you guys in the next episode. Please leave a comment section below if you guys seen us and what you guys think. Other than that, see you guys next time and keep being awesome. Thank you guys for watching this episode. I really appreciate it. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Also, you want to see what else I'm doing in my normal life and other things that's going on, please follow me on Instagram at Ali_Zakka. I'll put it right here around my face. Yep, right there. Also, if you want more episode of movie breakdowns or grind towards success or whatever it is I'm doing on YouTube, you know what? Follow my page right here, like I said before, the little comment thing right there, And then you can watch the last episode of Movie Breakdowns right here, and watch the last episode of Grind Towards Success right there. Other than that, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate y'all. See y'all next time. Keep being awesome.